Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. And we're going to go ahead and start off today's video by talking about this recent empire that was just formed. And the first Vincino Empire is a very interesting empire. They are very interesting. They have some very interesting ways of handling different stuff. And it is a council of about 7 people that run the country from the capital here. And these people are very powerful. Like, very powerful. And at this point, the red team is given a run for their money. I don't know. Oh, there's these Major City dots here. Hopefully that's all fixed, but we're gonna need to replace those. But yeah, they are very strong, and there was a meeting over here in the red team's capital with some of their allies that aren't really like the yellow team is like sort of their ally, but right now their really only major ally is South Korea. And Vietnam is pretty close to them, so they'll call Vietnam into the meeting. As well as several other countries. Of course, they do not know about the Emirates or Persia. And speaking of Persia, they did just come across the first mountains ever. So that's very exciting. The first, like, big mountains. And then, yeah, so that's very exciting. But they will be going to explore some, but it's kind of hard as, yeah, there are mountains here. So they'll just explore around them and up the coast of the Red Sea a bit, not too much. Make it to that point. Qatar's kind of found even more, and now they're going down the coast of the of southern Arabia down to here and all throughout this area. And they will also explore inward a bit more and expand. They'll expand into Qatar and a little bit of these areas around Qatar and over here into Oman. And the Persians will probably expand up the coast even more. Something like that, maybe around there, right here. Remember, this is the first dictator, and it's actually going quite well in their country. Nothing too much happening, though, for them. But there is just a group of people in both of these countries that just don't want to be here anymore. They just want to constantly leave and explore new places. So eventually, they will the 2 main parties will meet up and decide that they're going to meet up here, like if this whoever is. And because there were like people suspecting, like really great scientists in both of these countries, the best ones of their time, not say this area probably meets up, and it does, and in fact it does like pretty well. And they find each other and they just move out and go really far away. Eventually, they get so far up here, yeah, like they found like the Tigris and Euphrates River, which I'm pretty sure are around here, and they'll just keep going up and up and up, and then probably about half the party dies. There is a little bit more of the Dubai, the Emirate party, and eventually they'll head up into this area, and they see more of like this pretty good climate, so. But eventually, they'll head up into this area and they'll reach the Mediterranean Sea for the first time ever in this series, which is a very big deal. And they head up the coast of Turkey and down these areas. But that's not all. Right here, a new country is explored and discovered, which is pretty good. These guys, they kind of went halfway through. And then they also lost a lot of people to this, so there's not too much people over. They made it all the way over to here. In fact, most of the people die out, but there is still, I want to say, like a very tiny colony. That probably looks something like this. So very tiny, once again. But, you know, it kind of works. This one will experience food shortage because they didn't kind of bring any food along with them. But they will set up a major city here. Oh wait, I did that on the wrong layer. Like I said, they'll establish their capital city here. And they are a pretty tiny country, especially for this day and age, and eventually this colony kind of dies out. And it just wasn't ready for what was to come. And all this area will kind of just be lost. But there are still some people who will remember this. And they'll remember what it was like over beyond. Now we have this lime green team country, and we're going to be calling it Mesopotamia for old time's sake, I guess. But it mostly is in the Mesopotamian region, which I believe is just this area right here, slash that area. But yeah, it's mostly that area. And anyway, we need to move back over to the mainland. And this is because something big is happening in the green team. The green team has never really been stable, especially after the war between them, red team, and South Korea. And it is about time that they split up. And by split up, I mean a North Korean government will be installed over here, down here in the south, and it'll be given its independence, fully independent, and its capital will be right here. So that is another new country we can add to the map. And this area is looking the most diverse with 5 countries over here, just in like Korea and Japan. So it's very diverse over here. And it's also very diverse down here, as we have like 3 countries right here. Malacca and like Vietnam, India, so that's already a lot like the Bay of Bengal area. And yeah, our world is still slowly becoming more diverse. Now we have a war, and this is the war of the red team versus this other, like the south red team, the dark red team. And this is mainly because the red team claims this land right here, so it can like expand more. So it quickly moves into that land and occupies it, as well as sending troops along this little area right here. And slowly but surely it just kind of moves throughout the country. Don't really have any major population spots, just the capital, because they are fairly new. So yeah, it's kind of move throughout it. Move down to here, and move throughout it. I'm just kind of walking all over the place. There's like resistance, but it's not like big. And eventually, the main 2 pockets surrender, and this whole southern area just collapses. And after probably about the first month of the war, it falls over to the red team. They annex all of it, but they do give some land over to the yellow team as part of an official alliance between the two. So that is very cool and nice. But the yellow team is looking to conquer more foreign lands. Specifically over here in the Philippine Islands, they have just discovered even more islands, making their way down into the central Philippines. And slowly but surely, almost all these islands are discovered, including the big southern one down here. And this one actually isn't discovered. But most of this area over here is. And eventually that island will be discovered as well. Meaning all this area is discovered. And right after this, the people here feel like they aren't being treated fairly. So they will revolt away onto their own little island. Their own little country here. And when they do that, the forces aren't fast enough to stop them. And if the other team tries to go back, they can just quickly conquer them. So now we have the Philippines here, and we're just going to name this country Luzon, as they have almost all of Luzon. They have all of Luzon, and a few other extra islands, so like the northern Philippines. Either one was fine. But it's time to add some more major cities again. And I feel like this series may be going a little bit too slow. So that's why we're adding a bit of major cities here. And yeah, the yellow team definitely needs a lot more. They are way more powerful than this. Yeah, quite a bit now actually. The red team has a lot too, most of them by the coast, but actually quite a few in the center of their country. A few more in Korea. The green team is going to get quite a few more. The mainland Japan will get some. And actually, this, the old one, the old Korea, who's now in Japan. So like central Japan will have an extra major city. That's how big these countries are getting. Even the small ones can have up to 2 major cities. But down here in Vietnam, they're getting very populated. They are quickly becoming a very populated country, especially around the capital city. But in everywhere else, there isn't really too much population. In fact, we'll need to delete a few major cities. But down here in Malacca, they are pretty populated now. Well, not much population. The orange team will rebuild that one major city up to where it is now. And another one, the brown team will quickly do the same. And this Bangladesh country will follow too. India, however, is doing way more than the others have been doing, as they are easily competing with the yellow team and about to be stronger than them. Meanwhile, the Emirates over here, they will get 2 more major cities, and Persia doesn't get any. They're still pretty small. And even Mesopotamia will get a major city. So that's how big these countries are becoming. Major cities aside, we know, we're skipping ahead of time, that's why there's so many major cities there. But it probably doesn't look exactly like this anymore. Indonesia is probably way more discovered. That lake is discovered. All of this area is discovered, and even that island right there will be discovered. And Malacca will be taking quite a bit of this, as they will be taking all... probably not like that. Probably more like this. That much land. We need to round off that edge right there. And they'll even take this major city, this island here. If they can. Maybe now? No. Well, then they don't take the island, I guess. Why not? But, Malacca is now pretty big. Oh, I see the problem. The major cities are on the wrong map. Okay, and there we go. It's fixed. But now we need to move on to another topic. The exploration of Japan, and it's finally coming to an end, as they've had plenty of time to discover all of this. And even this northern island up here will be discovered. Like all of this, all the way up to like this northern part right here, it's all discovered. Even some islands. And then eventually, I'll discover some more islands, and this little piece of land right here. Stockholland is not yet discovered, but I have a feeling it could be soon. And meanwhile, down here for these guys, they will end up expanding. Japan will expand that way, and technically, Technically, this guy doesn't have to. He wasn't allowed to like expand at first, but like the way of how like exile works is just their country just gets really small and they're pretty much isolated from everybody else. But as you can see, he's kind of his successors kind of countered that, and now he's made like a sea empire, as well as going up to the Northern Isle as well. Meanwhile, for the rest of this, a whole new country is just going to form right here. And it's going to be this dark blue color right here. Not to be confused with the dark purple color. This is its own thing. But they also take over some of this northern island up here. And eventually cut the other guy off. So, the feelings here are definitely hate toward each other. But, now, for the major cities, we got boom, a boom, a boom, a boom, a boom, and a boom. And this guy's capital city will be right here. There we go, right there. So, another Japan country. And it doesn't look like the Japanese Isles will ever be unified. But now we need to move on back over to here, where these countries have been around for quite a long time. And as one of the last events of the video, we actually see them expanding quite greatly. They explore, and a lot of these areas around the Bay of Bengal are fully explored out to a lot of miles, like out there. The brown team will be expanding inward, though. I don't like that shape already. Maybe something like that works. And then Bangladesh, probably going to be the biggest out of all of these. Yeah, they're pretty big. And then the orange team, poor orange team, never stood a chance. And I didn't really deserve a chance, but they will take a little bit of land here, and right after this, Vietnam will take just a little bit. Vietnam definitely has a lot of land, but now they've decided they're going to declare war on this orange team. So the troops move in, and I have a feeling these guys right now have they have probably around this time period developed like the first Bronze Age swords and stuff. So we're beginning to get towards the what's it called? Not like the Renaissance, the medieval period. But all of this western area will be captured by the Vietnamese, and they'll slowly make their way into this area when the brown team gets in on the war and moves through this area really quickly. They know the land a lot better than the Vietnamese do. But eventually the Vietnamese will be the ones that capture the capital, ending probably the final period of the orange team. This is the peace treaty, and it looks exactly the same, because that's the land they get. That's the agreed upon. So, yeah, capital disintegrated. Now, the orange team is no more. These colors don't really match that well. I don't think I want to change them though. But for the most part, that's going to be done at the end of the episode. We have like 2 more events left. And one of these events is going to be the exploration of all of this island right here into some of Java. Not much of it though. But they do go ahead and cross the water, being one of the longest voyages ever, besides for like the Philippines voyage. That was like one of the longest ever. Well, they will find Borneo, and they even go up to here and discover these islands and discover the Philippines. So now they kind of know everything in the Vietnamese Sea, besides for like these islands and these islands, like the stuff far out there they don't know about. Basically, they will be exploring more of this and going into some of these other islands here and discovering even more. Discovering all of that island, and yeah, just Borneo is discovered, but they find something. You can see it looks like this, but that is not all, because they find one of the biggest countries ever, and it isn't just on this this merged island of Borneo, the Mega Borneo, because it extends off the coast and even on to Java. Like I said, one of the biggest countries ever of the time period, or at least that originates on their own, because we haven't seen anything like this ever before. But quickly, down here, quickly became populated with even more countries. So quickly, these guys are going to make a stride, and they're going to quickly try to take over more land so that they can get down and meet these people with like an actual border. And they'll meet up to this area, but they don't find them, they don't get to them yet. And this is mostly because a new country pops up right here. Looks about like this. So these guys are here now, and now they can't expand anymore. And this is like people who didn't want to live in Java. So like people who didn't like that the Mega Borneo wasn't caring about Java. So they went over to here and formed a whole new nation. This thing right off the bat has about 3 major cities. One right here, and right here. And the capital will be right there. But yeah, that will do it for today's episode. And next episode we might see some more population of this coast. But that's the whole episode. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please show your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.